Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday I made a video showing how to create a template for a 40-ounce tumbler, specifically a Makerflow tumbler, but the same process holds true for a Stanley, for a Yeti, whether it's a 40-ounce, a 30-ounce, a 20-ounce. You just have to have your dimensions of your tumbler, both circumference and the height, and those are the numbers you use to create your template. But in that process, I was talking about how a lot of the full wrap graphics that I've downloaded just have not been good quality. They don't repeat properly. Where they are supposed to join up, they don't join up properly. They're not cut well. Just several different issues that we have. So I'm going to go through the process of how to fix your full wrap graphics on a couple different examples here today. So let's just jump right into Lightburn and get started. Okay, so what we have here is this bumblebee and sunflower graphic. And on the surface, it looks fine until you go to try and duplicate it or wrap it. So I'm going to duplicate it, and this is how you tell if your project is going to wrap properly and look right. You duplicate it, and you just arrow key it over to the one side, and you see how it aligns. And here, I'm a little bit tight there. I could adjust that, but this is just for the demonstration at the moment. We've got flower, bee, flower, bee, flower, bee, flower, bee, flower, flower. Wait a minute, that shouldn't be. It should be flower, bee, all the way around. Just continue that way endlessly. So we need to fix that. I'm going to delete that one. So what we need to do is we need another set of bees after these flowers. The way I'm going to do that, first we need to ungroup it. Okay. So we need another set of bees beyond these flowers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to grab this set of flowers and bees and move them over and add them onto the end. Rather than just trying to grab the bees out and copy them and move them over and get the spacing right, this is a little trick I'm going to show you. So let me select these flowers on the end, and I'm going to change that to a different color layer because I'm going to end up deleting that in just a minute. But for right now, we're going to select, and I'm dragging from the left side over because even if I touch these flowers, it's not going to select them. It's only going to select what's totally constrained within the bounding box I did. Now I'm going to duplicate it, Command D. Use the arrow keys, shift over, shift. And I'm actually going to put it in line mode so we can see exactly what's going on. And I'm going to zoom in. So, down. Okay, we are right on top of the other set of flowers. So now I'm going to take and delete that red layer. Turn this back into fill mode so we can see it all. Now I'm going to select this entire graphic and group it back together. And we're going to size it to fit our bounding box. Our bounding box is 316 millimeters. So let's go 316 and center it. Shift, select, and center. And let's move it to the top just because this is only going to fill the top part of the graphic, or of a tumbler. Okay, so we've got those all selected. Now let's duplicate it while they're selected. Do the same thing again, move them over. And you can see here, as I zoom it in to where we lined up perfectly, we're a little too tight here. These guys are hitting, and they're not hitting anywhere else. So we need to make this graphic just a little bit smaller. So I'm going to delete that one and come in here just so we get an idea what we're dealing with. I'm going to grab a distance between here and the bumblebee is about 3 3/4, 3.5 millimeter. So what I'm going to do now, select, and I want to have the anchor point on my right. And in fact, we can go anchor point right and top because we're anchored to the top here. I'm going to go 316 minus 3.5. Enter. So that just shrunk this graphic down a little. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I only have the graphic selected. Okay. That just shrunk that graphic down just a little bit. Now let's select both, duplicate again, arrow them over. And that looks like we have a good repeating pattern. Flower B, flower B, flower B, flower B, flower B, flower B, and just keeps going on and on and on and wraps around. And this will fit in the top part of your tumbler probably before the bevel goes in. If you have a size for your bevel, you can shrink it a little bit, you can center it up, you know. But this is just showing you how to fix a pattern that it's a repeating pattern, but it doesn't repeat properly. Okay, so let's move on to our next example here. All right. So here we have this nice little hibiscus and some waves, and let's see how that's going to repeat. So I select it all, duplicate it, move it over, zoom in. Okay, let's zoom in good. Oh, we got gaps here. And the lines don't line up. How? You know, they're not even straight cuts. I don't understand how they can make a graphic like this and cut it into different pieces and not even have straight lines on the end. That's just kind of silly. So, if you were go to burn this on a tumbler where it joins up, you're going to see all these little gaps in between. And you don't want to see gaps. Now what you could do is stretch it a little bit. I'm going to simulate that by just moving it over a little bit. And you get overlap. See, it, even where they overlap, it doesn't look right. This one here is still not far enough, so I got to move it over some more. Now we've got it. So I had to move it over 2 steps to get a full overlap on it, and they just don't line up well. It doesn't look good. I mean, you may be perfectly happy with this, but I'm not. So let's figure out what we have to do to fix this problem. And it's very tedious and time consuming, and I'm not going to walk through the whole process of it. I'm just going to show you what I do. So unselect that now. I leave the left side alone. I don't do any adjustments on that, and I'm going to also change it to line mode so it's easier to see what's going on. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to click on this, and we need to ungroup it so we can manipulate it. So I've ungrouped that, and we're going to have to get into node editing. So I click on the node edit tool, and I'm going to grab this first. Oh, we're still grouped. We need to ungroup it again. There we go. So now you see I've got the node editing points here. I can grab this node and drag it right to the corner. Line it up. Come down here to this one. Drag it in. And in this situation, I don't want to have them touching each other because that'll create a void. I'll be just right next to it. Let me do this. Take this one, drag this one down, drag that one up. That way the points can touch, but we don't want any overlap on them. Come down here, grab this one, bring it over and up to where it lines up. Okay, and just check, looks good. All right, so that's the first one. Moving on down. Gotta do it again. Grab here. And here. Got to do a lot of zooming in and out, and I'm zooming by using my scroll wheel on my mouse. It's so much quicker and easier than any other way I know of. Bring this guy back down to the point. Okay. And as long as we don't have the dashed lines going inside, we're okay. It can go to the other side a little bit and not be an issue because that will have already burned. And it's just going to be the stainless steel below it, so you're not going to notice that near as much as you would a spot that didn't get burned at all. So here's same thing, going into the point, And this is the last one I'm going to deal with on this one. We'll show you the finished product here in a second. Same thing. Now see how this one here is passed? We got to drag it in so we don't have the white space because that's not a straight line. How do you cut a graphic and not have it be a straight line? Anyway, we get out of node editing. So you can see there I've got a lot of work go all the way down through this. Now, what we don't do is we don't change the size of the graphic at this point. So here's the one I finished up earlier. And if you look in here, you can see they all line up absolutely beautiful. Click on it, move it out one notch. See how well they line up when they come back in? Out, in. Which is one notch with the control key. Back in. It lines up perfect when it burns. Oh, one thing I want to point out. Let me select the frame as well. There we go. So as you look at the frame, now these parts are beyond the frame, which is okay. Because our right side, which is where our origin will be, our right side is right on the frame, or close to it. But it doesn't matter if there's overlap. As long as we didn't move that in the frame, when this comes around, it's going to keep going and finish up the burn. So that's that one. That was fairly easy, just a very time-consuming process. Now I got one more here that's even a little more difficult. Okay. So same thing here. We're going to select it, duplicate it, move it over, zoom in. Okay. So this one I got to do quite a bit different. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to, and let me show you the finished product first so you can get an idea what we're dealing with here. Here I've actually got this whole branch is coming in. See, I cut out for that branch. I got rid of this piece up here, joined that together, just so that when it comes together, it looks proper. So let me get in here and just show you quickly what we have to do that. So unlike the other one, we are going to work with both sides of this. Let's ungroup this one, ungroup this one, go into line mode and node editing. So what we got to do here first is connect this to that up top, connect this to that. Okay. Then we're going to hover over this line and hit the D key, not delete, but the D. That's going to delete that line. And delete did not work like I wanted it to. Undo. Click on that line and hit the D key. There we go. So I've deleted that. Now we need to select the other side and do the same thing. Let's click here, D, D. What happened here? Okay. That missed. Select that. Bring this guy down. See how that connected now? Just kind of adjusting the shape here a little bit to look a little better. That's connected. And then we need to come up here and make sure this guy's connected. That's not it. Undo. That's it right here at this point. That's connected. So undo. All right. I don't like how that looks right there. I'm going to move it down better. Okay. Now go back to fill mode. See how that one looks? That looks fine. Okay. Back to line mode. All right. We got to do the same thing with this flower. Just join it up together. And this one is just kind of goofy. All together. Inlet mode. Okay. Another way we can do this is hover over that point, click B, which will break it. Okay, click here. B, which will break that. I'm going to delete that line by D. Delete that line by D. You have those two together and they're connected. See how it jumped together? Down here, B, B, D, D. And I'm going to bring this one up instead of that one down. Connected? Nope. Now it's connected. Okay. So that's connected. This guy here, I'm just going to put a little shape onto it. I don't like how squared off it is. There we go. Okay. Now here, I'm going to click here and I'm going to hit E for extend. That just runs a line out till it hits something else. Now that joined up, and I'm going to put a little curve on there just so it doesn't look so harsh. And then up top here, I'm just going to connect these two together. Right, and adjust the curves a little bit. And see how that looks. That looks kind of funky. I don't like that. Like that. Like that. I'm going to smooth that one out by clicking S. There we go. That looks better. Okay, so those two are now connected. Right? Now in the meantime, I'm going to take this one and delete it, get it out of the way. Get this guy out of the way. Well, this here's fine's out of the way. Those guys there. We'll be fine. Yeah. Those. This guy down here's the butterfly is a little tricky. Let's skip off that for now. Let's go into this last flower. We're going to go back to node editing. Select this. Drag it. Drag it. Drag it. And I'll come back and join these up in a minute. Right now I'm just going to get the basic shape and position. And if you know of a quicker way of doing this than what I'm doing, please leave a note in the comments. A link to another video showing a better way of doing it. Anything, because this is so tedious and time consuming. And you know, I guess sometimes you get what you pay for. I got these on, I'm not going to mention the website, but it's a very common site where people get files, and I do pay for it. So it's not like I'm getting it for actually for free, but you know, it's not on a per file basis. It's a subscription process, and it just frustrating when you got to do so much work go to that point. And here's the bottom. I'm going to drag this over there. And I'm going to make that all go away when I'm done. Okay. So let's start with this. B for break. D for delete. Okay. I'm going to click on this one here. I'm going to add a node right there. So I for insert node. B to break it. And D to delete that line. So now we got this guy is connected to that one. Yes. Okay. What happened here? Okay. We want to come up here. Delete that. Delete that line. Make sure this guy's connected. It's not. Now it is. Okay, that's connected. Come down here, and I can get rid of all this. Just hover over them and keep hitting D. D. Those are all gone. That can stay just as it is. Now we got to come here to this guy. I'm just going to do it this way, just a D. Oh, nope, that didn't work. I'll break it first. B, then D. Click on this one. B, then D. That guy's together. Up here, this guy's together. That guy's together. What we got here? Zoom out. That's good. That's good. I can come here, break it, delete it, delete it, break it, delete it. That's connected. That's connected good. Break. D. Break. D. You see how when I connected up, it snapped in place, and also it started with the marching ants. That's there. Our next line's up here. We're almost done. Then we'll move on to the finished product here. We won't got just 4 more spots here real quick. So same process. B, D, B, D. And it really helps to zoom in on these things. Okay, that got it. Zoom in here. That got that one. Okay, what do we got here? We got this. Got a break here. Break here. Break here. D. D. Connect those two together. Make sure they're connected. They are. Undo, just to get it back to the same position. And let's see here. We got this guy. What is that? That's not. I'm not sure what that's doing here. Okay. All right, I got it. I got you. So here, B, B, D, D. Grab these guys together. They're not locked. Still not locked. Now they're locked. It's no longer green because that's no longer an origin point to the shape. Okay, this one here we need to join up. I don't know why it's that way, but a bit. That connected. Got to come down here. B, D, D. Oh, didn't like that one. B, D, D. Okay. That's connected. That's fine. And here we got 2 origin points here, so we know we're not connected quite right. That one, and that one's already connected. Okay, I think we're good. Bill, no. We have an open shape here. Somewhere we have an open shape. Because that did not fill properly. Let's get all this extra stuff out of the way for now. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go Option J, auto join, no. Won't let me join them. Where's my problem here? Go back to node editing. Somewhere we have an open shape. Okay, this is the trick I learned at one point. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Option B to break it apart. Option J to join it. That didn't work either. We're just going to have to search around this whole thing, and I know it's got to be somewhere where the joint was. There's one. There it is. Found it. Okay, if it's not connected, it's not going to make an open shape. It's not going to fill properly. Do all this. Okay. Now for the well, we got to do the same thing on the butterfly. Nevertheless, what we're going to do is get rid of everything over here that's in my way. These guys here. This guy here, half a butterfly. Okay. So that's basically what we end up with for our shape. So we have to, the problem is I lost my frame. Let's make a new frame real quickly, which I know is 316 by 245, and change that to a tool layer. And I'm going to move that out of the way. Undo that out of the way. Move it out of the way. I'm going to highlight this and group it together. I don't want to change the size of it at all. And I'm going to click that, shift click on my group, I'll line it up there, and center it that way, and group them together. Now you can see these parts stick past, but it's okay because when that's what I forgot. I forgot to delete these other parts. So ungroup, ungroup. This guy here has got to go. This entire flower's got to go bye-bye. Okay, the flower's got to go bye-bye. These guys both got to go bye-bye. And I think that's, yeah, that's everything that's sticking past. Oh, and this guy down here. Oops. Undo. Take care of this. Make that go away. Okay, let's regroup it again. Group. Now we can duplicate it. See how it's apart. Go together. As it comes together. And I didn't do anything with the center of the butterfly. You can see everything else. It wraps around, lines up just great. So, and as you, like I say, as you start, when you, let me real quickly jump into the template page. Where is it? There it is. Template. I do not need to save that. Okay. So now we're on a template. This is our template that we made yesterday. I'm going to take, and I saved these graphics into my art library once I've adjusted them. So I'll click on it, and I'm going to hit the period key to rotate it 90 degrees. Then I'm going to select that, select my outer frame. I'm going to start with my bullseye, but then I want this edge to line up with the bottom edge. There we go. See, so now this lines up with that. And I'm centered. If I wanted to, I could go to the top, but I'm just going to leave it centered. And now let's come over here to our laser. Let me move my mug to a different corner here. All right, so we're in the laser screen, and we're going to use user origin, and we want our origin to be right down here, because as our tumbler rolls, it's going to roll towards clockwise, or back towards us rather than away from us. So it's going to start here, and if you have a mug with a tumbler with handles, you typically want to center it on the handle and have any splices happening under the handle. So use user origin, move your origin to the bottom right. When you run it through, it's going to start here and scan, 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 scan. And as it goes around, this is just going to come up. And this part will fill in where the holes are, and it will be beautiful. So, I know this was kind of a long video. In fact, it was a very long video. But I hope you learned something from it. And yeah, I hope you learned something from it. It's just sad that when you download graphics off a commercial site, that they don't always work. But that's just the way it is. If you want something that works perfect every time, you got to create it yourself from scratch, and that's a lot of work. So this, when I first fixed this file, it took me about 45 minutes to fix it. This whole video here is a little over 30 minutes long. I showed you 3 different techniques, or 2, yeah. So hopefully this will help you when you download files and they just don't work for you. All right. Like and subscribe. Keep tuned for more videos coming your way. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.